Yo, what's up? What's going on? What's good? It's the Boxing Source checking in here. And of course, we're going to talk about real quick Terence Crawford getting the stoppage victory over Errol Spence to become the undisputed welterweight champion. He is still undefeated, and he pretty much put on a dominant performance there against Errol Spence Jr. to capture the WBC, IBF, and WBA welterweight championships, and also the Ring Magazine championship. And he is the clear-cut, undisputed welterweight champion, and now is the two-division undisputed welterweight champion. Now, things kind of went off a little bit well for Errol Spence in the first round. He was able to be active with the jab and things like that. But, of course, we were waiting for what Terence Crawford was going to do, as he is a natural counterpuncher, pretty much tries to gauge what his opponent was going to do. And in the second round, he was just really quick with the counterpunching that pretty much threw off Errol Spence. And then when he was able to throw that combination, first with the counterpunch, and then followed up with another punch that kind of caught Errol Spence off guard, it was like he went down to the canvas and it was like, whoa. A lot of people were shocked on that. But the thing about it is that after that, you kind of shown that the speed and the timing of Terence Crawford was just something that Errol Spence Jr. just really didn't expect. That was on one element. The second element was that Errol Spence just looked really slow, especially when he was coming with his left hand. On two things, on the offensive side and on the defensive side. Because when he was throwing the right jab, he was throwing the right jab and try to be consistent with it. But when he was coming forward with the left hand, you've seen that Terence Crawford was definitely ready for that left hand coming up. So either he would have his right guard, pretty much his right guard up to kind of catch it, or he would kind of sit back and then either kind of come over the top with the left hook, or even come through with the right. So a number of times, especially early in this particular fight, you've seen that once Errol Spence went in and lunged in with his right jab and then tried to come in with the left, he was already being beat to the punch. And that's one thing. And the other thing too is, even after he was throwing the right jab, if he didn't throw the left, he didn't have his left hand up. It was pretty much down towards his body. So he had his face pretty much open for anything that was coming by Terence Crawford. So a number of those times, you just seen at this particular point that, Terence Crawford was just landing the counter punches at will. So a lot of times you've seen that. And then also, when Terence Crawford was throwing those combinations, you really didn't see Errol Spence up with the high guard that you usually seen him with in previous fights. Now in the seventh round, when Errol Spence looked like he was coming, up a little bit, with working the body in the previous round and things like that, but he was pretty much lured in when Terence Crawford was having his back to the ropes, and he was pretty much set up. And once again, with that left hand being low, once he lunged in with the right jab and Crawford was backing up, that's when Crawford came back in with pretty much a hook uppercut type of a punch that just stopped the timing there of Errol Spence, and then he went down there once again. But there were a number of punches there where, a lot of times, either it was the jab or it was the hook, whether it had a lot behind it or not, that Errol Spence was just, just stopping in his tracks. So you've seen multiple dimensions there, particularly from the offensive standpoint of Terence Crawford, that really Errol Spence didn't much have an answer for. And so that's why, after, a couple of times over those couple of knockdowns, and when, you had Errol Spence be hit by those big shots, that's where, you had the referee step in and stop the bout. So you have Terence Crawford there as the undisputed champion. And, coming off of this particular video, it looks like, Errol Spence wants to activate that rematch clause. Of course, he says that he wants to be there at 154 pounds, but it's pretty much up to the winner there to determine what the rematch is going to be at. So, with Terence Crawford, of course, being now the undisputed welterweight champion, he probably would want to be somebody that wants to defend those undisputed championships. But here, right now, at this particular point, it's pretty much Terence Crawford, with a dominant performance to become the undisputed welterweight champion. And we'll get more into this in the live discussion that's going to be on this particular channel, The Boxing Source. Y'all be sure to check that out. That's going to be, scheduled for live at Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be kind of discussing this at length, and I hope y'all will be able to catch it there. So we will catch y'all in that particular episode of the Boxing Source radio show or live podcast, and I hope to see y'all there. Peace out.